Okay, well, I guess it's been a few months since we had a story about the museum. I guess you guys have been doing a little work, it looks like.
We have. Ural has done most of the work as far as placing the objects in the cases, and he's been real meticulous about that. And they've spent several hours down here doing that. The move turned out to be not as much as we thought. We were able to get it just in a matter of 3 truckloads to get the stuff down here, and it stacked in and brought it pretty easy. He brought the big vase over there. He brought it separately just a few days ago, and wanted to be very careful with that.
Right.
But the real work has been the ladies logging in all these artifacts in the computer and photographing it and doing the necessary work that a museum program calls for.
Now, this is just one section. This is the Native American section. And it looks like there's hundreds, if not thousands, of individual pieces.
Absolutely.
So they have to, are they archiving each individual piece?
In the cases, yes. And things that are in frames, we're labeled as one, and just counting the pieces and doing it as one object.
Give us a little background information for folks that don't know what's going on here in Surgoinsville. What are we working on here?
We're working on a museum and archives for Surgoinsville and the area, which can Churchill, Rogersville, Carter's Valley, Stanley Valley, Longs Bend, or any other thing that we think is interesting that to our area. You know, it doesn't necessarily have to be in Hawkins County.
Now, who is this gentleman beside you?
This is Charlie Grow, and he's a professional museum man, curator
Right.
at the Quantico Marine Museum in Quantico, Virginia. He's a military man for 25 years, retired captain, and he's from here. His mother and family's from here, so we were just fortunate he came along when he did to help us out. And he's pretty much scaled out everything we got in here. We just got to make it come to life.
That's what I was going to ask you. What has your input been?
So I've been advising and assisting. They asked me to help them. I took their story points and boiled it into individual areas, and then laid out a floor plan. Got their collective buy-off on it, and then started scaling it out so that we could start really designing the exhibits and fabricating the exhibits and installing the exhibits.
And it appears that the Native American display is almost done. You can see there's still pieces that aren't up yet, but it's going to be more than just Native American stuff, right? You've got
Absolutely.
quite a bit of subjects to cover.
It is. Churches, not just in Surgoinsville, but in our orbit, schools that are that mostly have closed down, that were in Carter's Valley, Stanley Valley, Longs Bend schools, Magnolia School, all these little satellite schools that used to exist 60, 70 years ago. We're wanting to bring them all in and get a little info on those. So,
We focus on the river.
Yes,
We focus on farm life. We focus on the businesses in Surgoinsville. We focus on life and family life in Surgoinsville, sports, and then there's a big music element to it. And then we've got a couple of prominent doctors that were here that we want to pay homage to as well.
And I see a pretty impressive display here that pertains to local music heritage.
Yes.
Would you like to talk about what this is?
This is my first shadow box and our first one that we want to feature Eddie Skelton. You can see these signed the guitar there, and it's not finished. I've got to get some stickers and put on there of the places he worked. WKIN, WMCH, WJHL, and just kind of a little documentary of his time as a musician. He's still active. He's 89 years old.
Yep.
Going to Sweden again this year.
Really?
So, I guess the first live band I heard probably was Eddie Skelton Band at a fall festival in Surgoinsville in late 50s.
So he was not only was he a radio personality and a musician, but he had some hit hit songs.
Yeah, he had out some hits in 57, 58, 59. He's touched a lot of lives around here with his live music, even before the Beatles and Rolling Stones. You know,
Okay.
so.
How far are you from opening? I guess that's probably
Well,
one of the big questions.
We're not where we want to be, but we're
Right.
getting this was the most major thing we had to do was the Indian artifacts collection.
Mm-hmm.
Other things I think will come pretty fast because we got them. They're not here. They're in people's closets and basements and
They're pledged.
yeah. We're just telling them just hold tight till we get ready. So when we bring them in, we can display them properly. Prize artifact that we got is Bill Kirkpatrick's basketball sweater and a leather sweater from Surgoinsville.
Oh man.
You know, they were state contended the state championship in 52, 53, and it's just in pristine condition. It's
Wow.
beautiful. Jimmy Caswell, one of our local artists, and by the way, Captain Grove's artist too.
Oh, okay.
But he did this for some years back when I think they were working together at the plastic plant at the time, and he just took some of Earl's artifacts and they made a beautiful shadow box there, I think.
This is the far corner, and it looks like you're starting at the far end and working towards the door.
Yeah, we wanted to get it. We wanted to get this done.
But you can see the rest of the space here is obviously not complete. Got a few shelves that are ready to be filled, but what is the estimated time? Have you got an estimated opening date?
Well, we said September. A few weeks ago when we had another story, but we're still trying. We're going to do that. We think a lot of the rest of things happen quick.
Mm-hmm.
This has been a lengthy process.
Right. Okay.
Anyway, Eileen and Alice Queener have really stepped up to the plate and put in hours the past few weeks working on all
We're
Ural's.
starting to get a dent in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ural's artifacts.
How many pieces have you filed so far?
Several hundred.
Yeah. Is it a lengthy process to do like one piece?
It's tedious
Yeah.
It's just
because we
time-consuming.
photograph it, measure it,
Yeah.
then have to transfer the photos to the thumb drive.
Then label it, then label the object, then what the object name is, then a description with all the measurements in it, then the notes, which is the case in which it's in,
Holy cow.
and the row in which it's in. And,
It's cataloging.
Yeah.
That's what it is,
Yeah.
just like in the library.
Busy work. Yeah.
and then you
Yeah.
can date it, and you have to catalog who did the documentation, whether it's
Okay.
me or
And
Carolyn.
that's not like optional. That's mandatory, right?
Yeah, you have to do it.
You guys have to do this.
Yeah,
Yeah, if you want to be a
absolutely.
real museum, you have to do this.
Yeah.
And if you want the state to continue to work with you, you have to be able to. They want an object, you have to be able to find it for them.
And especially when you have things that are loaned rather than outright gifted.
Right.
You need documentation of what has been loaned so you can make sure if that person ever wants them back, you can get them all back to them.
We're hoping you'll let us keep
Yeah.
the arrowheads and so forth.
Yeah. That's
Focused on the river. And so this is paper from 1939 from TVA. And this is once they got the flooding under control with the new dams, their push for electrification and this entire. I just happened to find this at Bellamy's a month or so ago.
Oh wow.
And it really fits in with everything that we are focusing on about the Holston River and the area rivers and how TVA took us from poverty, flood zone, and really helped us control the waters. And so anyway, there's an article in here about that. And we wanted to do something about life and home life and farming and whatever in Surgoinsville. So you can't cover it all. So I chose the 30s Depression area into the 40s and into electrification. So I have like an old wood cook stove, this cabinet over here, and a lot of home items, and then moving into the electrification era. we'll have a ringer washer where
Ah.
we progressed.
Yeah.
And
My
then
mom still uses one of those, by the way.
and then really,
Yeah.
well, they're pretty effective.
Yeah.
And then the effect, that TVA had on our lives here. So maybe that'll be some nice grant money from TVA because
I bet it will be.
A lot of things out there that may not be in Surgoinsville, but they're Surgoinsville related. Anybody's got anything, we'd love to look at it and see if we can use it in this museum.
Okay. Is there a museum phone number?
She said, I know it said Charlie and I
No,
were the same
there's
class."
not.
Who should somebody contact?
You could call the library, and I don't recall her number right
Next time she-
now. And they would leave us a message.
We've got a collections committee, so not just one person can say, "Oh, I got a hankering for this or that." The committee looks at it and applies due process to make sure that it aligns with our mission statement and with our collections rationale.